So
It's not. I like it. It's a good sign.
okay.
So here come the Fixed It franchise, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, you're all wigged out? No, it's all right. It just started by itself. It's not a big deal.
So definitely something.
No, it's free publicity. So, Happy New Year. Happy 2024. This is episode 4 in 2024. Today, it's going to be my turn. My franchise. It's a quirky little franchise. It had a good stint in movies. Men in Black.
You're all here because you're the best of the best, and we're looking for one of you.
I make this look good.
Men in Black.
Yeah. Okay. So, there's 4 installments. It had a comic book series that was only like a few issues. And then it had the anime TV series that had like 4 seasons.
I did enjoy the.
Oh, I love the anime TV series too.
Cartoon.
And it had the same animation as like Godzilla.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and like a Big Guy and Rusty and shit like that. That same kind of animation. There was Will Smith headlined it for 3 iterations. And then they did the weird Chris Hemsworth one with the African American chick.
Yeah, I forget her name. She's on Creed.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is she also Valkyrie in Marvel, and then she's also in Westworld, right?
I don't know.
She's kind of pretty. Yeah.
I think her eyes are way too far apart.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey, get a woman that looks like Will Smith."
We need an alien.
Yeah, there's a certain eye ratio.
Looks like Will Smith.
So a lot of good point. It was a hit. It was a comic book movie. The first one, it was gritty. A lot of practical effects.
Yeah.
A lot of humor at the time. Not humor, you had humor, action hand in hand.
You had Will Smith, the comedy relief.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones is the grizzled veteran.
That's right.
The second one, they kind of ramped up the comedy a little bit, but it was still fun. Did. Yeah, that's alright. I don't mind. It was one with Johnny Knoxville, right?
That's right.
And then the lady was something. I forgot the name.
Yeah, I don't know. Tony Shalhoub's in there.
Tony Shalhoub's always in Tony. Yeah. I love Tony Shalhoub. And then the third one, it had Josh Brolin as a young K.
Young K.
How do you know my name?
It had Will Smith. It had Jermaine Clement. He was in Fly the Conchords. He was Boris the Animal.
That's right.
Yeah. He's in What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. God, who else is in there? He had a lot. Yeah, like Will Arnett in it, right? When he came back in time, he was Will Smith's. There's a lot of celebrity cameos. Mm-hmm. Bill Hader was in there. A lot of celebrity cameos. I like that one too. You don't get too many practical effects, or not like. I mean, you got that big old fish thing. That's a pretty good practical effect. I like the movie. I did not see the fourth one.
Same. The Chris Hemsworth, I didn't watch.
No, I didn't even waste my time. So, we are going to do the formula. The formula that has not led us astray, that every movie seems to abide by. The formula of left turn. And we got markers, by the way. Rock, paper, scissors, and femme fatale. So, Ron, what did you think about the first one?
The first one I really liked a lot. I grew up with that one. Being a fan of Will Smith from the Fresh Prince, so that's kind of how. I think that's one of the reasons why I just watched it. I was like, oh, Fresh Prince, so I watch it. And also Tommy Lee Jones. I knew
Vincent D'Onofrio. He was a big name in there too.
Yes.
Edgar. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And Tommy Lee Jones, I knew him from Batman Forever. I was like, oh, Two-Face. So I got the Fresh Prince and Two-Face.
Batman.
So I watched it and I enjoyed it a lot. I liked, like you said, it had a good amount of action, sci-fi, and with comedy from Will Smith.
And it was kind of creepy too, because like Vincent D'Onofrio's falling apart. You know, it's like people eating, is breaking dudes in half and shoving them under counters and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a little dark too.
Killed the 2 aliens in the diner.
Yeah, with a stinger. Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, it was a little dark as well. You know, so I agree. God, I remember renting that shit at Hollywood Video the first time I saw it. I remember seeing it. Hollywood Video, put in the VCR. Those are a lot of dated terms for our younger viewers.
Good old days.
If we even get any younger viewers, yeah. So I agree. It stayed closer to the source material, because the source material was really dark. The source material, the comic book, Kay was like this, just, he was an asshole, you know, he would find any reason to kill, you know, and Jay was, you know, the white rookie who they kind of shanghaied. They didn't even give him a choice to join. They said, hey, you know, you're joining, you know, that. And it wasn't predominantly aliens either. It was like anything paranormal.
Okay.
So they were like hunting demons in the comic book too. They were hunting aliens as well. There was the storyline, I believe, in issue 2, where it was directly correlated with the first Men in Black movie, where a big bug comes and, you know, crashes down, finds Edgar the farmer, and I think it doesn't even like kill Edgar. It's like on a scavenger hunt. So like Edgar says,
"You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold dead fingers."
And like the bug's just waiting for him to die. He's not like killing him or anything. So it's more of a philosophical.
Okay.
And then K and J explain to the bug, you know, hey, you know, it's just, you know, human language is weird, and, you know, it's just a misinterpretation. You know, so please use the gun, get the fuck out of here. So yeah, kind of very different, similar but different. So that's what I like. God, they're the guy who made, who helped direct or produce Men in Black. He also did the Addams Family movies. Okay. So it has that, you know, macabre, dark tone to it. So that's what I really liked about it as well. The second one, you get more daytime, flashy colors, you know, bright colors, you know, green pastures, things like that. More flamboyant and, you know, out there characters, and you have the whole mailroom scene. You got Bismarcky in there. I really like that. You had Frank the Dog. So yeah, there's a lot of good, you know, it's watchable, very watchable movies. What didn't you like about the third one? Did you dislike anything about the third one?
The third one, I didn't really care for the story too much. Like they have to go back in time. It's a young K, and then the villain. I forget even the plot. Like, what's the villain trying to do?
So,
like, why did they go back in time in the first place?
Because Boris the animal does. So he finds a guy who is able to go back in time, and he goes back in time to kill Kay in the past.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and so
that's a big, lazy writing trope.
Going back in time.
The going back in time trope. There's a whole slew of movies that go back in time. It's kind of boring.
It is, and I think it's an excuse of how do we bring back this character without getting Tommy Lee Jones back.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, we'll go back in time and he'll be young.
Sure.
So now we don't need Tommy Lee Jones, but it's still K.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too type thing. I agree with you. It is very lazy just to simply go back in time. It's a little boring. And it's one of those things where you don't need...
They could have just done an origin story. A Men in Black movie, right? A Men in Black movie without Will Smith.
And that would have been an issue for them. It's like, oh, we ain't got no Will Smith. It's a big money grab.
Oh, God.
So that's where the thing is. They get... I think movie industries get caught up in the
their
actor.
Contracts or something.
Yeah,
like
and they're held hostage by the actor. It happens all the time with the horror movies when they try to bring back that character, and they just keep asking for these absurd amounts of money. Who end up getting? We talked about it with Exorcist.
Linda Blair,
Linda Blair and the mom,
yeah.
Where she was like, I won't do this, and then they had to shell out a bunch of money that she was going to donate.
Or like the first Dread, how they demanded that he take his face off,
yeah,
or take his mask off because, you know, Sylvester Stallone's And Will Smith and Deadshot.
Yeah, so they got to sell it with this big star.
Big actor, yeah.
And it's like you're spending all this money that could have gone somewhere else, maybe. That could have made the movie better.
Well, they're playing it safe, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, just say, let's keep the finger on the button. What ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Exactly.
that thing broke it. And then they decided, hey, it didn't do too well in the box office with the last two ones, so let's go with a major. But we'll break that down. We'll break down the list right now. But we'll chop down the third one. I liked it because I think that was the only. What made it interesting was seeing all the weird characters and the back in time stuff. Josh Brolin did great. He had all the weird takes on the Studio 6050, whatever the fuck it was, and Bill Hader and things like that. And they should have just done an origin story.
Yeah, and if not an origin story, you could have made it to where Jay is now recruiting, and he sees Josh Brolin, who reminds him of Kay.
Yeah, that's a good one too. He could have done that,
Yeah.
but we're touching on sequel ideas.
Yeah.
That's a very, very good. What do you call it? But I agree. Avengers: The Endgame series. Got to go back in time. Back to the Future. Back in time. Timeline. Back in time. What else is back in time? Terminator. The whole Terminator series. Back in time. There was back in time aspects in Harry Potter. There's back in time aspects in. I don't know. There's a lot, and it seems to be like you can have creative flow without having the repercussions of a concrete story, the storyline. Yeah. It's their answer to the multiverse. Hey, it happened in an alternate timeline. Hey, it happened in an alternate multiverse. So that was before multiverse is fucking.
Everything exists.
Everything.
It's all true.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
But no. So interesting. So first one. You don't really have, this is the first mainstay into the series. We're not going to do left turns or anything like that. The second one, the left turn. They brought back Agent K. He
doesn't remember anything.
He doesn't remember anything. The main villain's a female.
Yeah.
The rock, paper, scissors is Jay is the mentor now. He doesn't want to be a mentor. He doesn't want to have a partner. He misses his old partner. They go back. And there's a female love interest with Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
So that's the rock, paper, scissors, I guess. Introducing a female love interest, Jay is the mentor, and a female villain, all opposing to what was in the first movie. Third one was, so their left turn was they got to go back in time and find a younger Kay.
How do you know my name?
And introduce him to memories and aspects that aren't even introduced yet. Jay still doesn't want to have a partner. Rip Torn dies.
Yeah, he does. I don't know why I laugh.
It's okay. He's a character in it. And that's the rock, paper, scissors. The femme fatale. There is none. I guess you have the replacement for Zed, who was that English woman who plays Nanny McPhee. There's really no prominent female character in that movie. No, there isn't. No, there really isn't. But that's okay. You don't really need one. But then they did a complete left turn with the fourth one. So Jay is now a black woman. Kay is now a handsome young Chris Hemsworth. It's MIB International, so it's unabridged to the American MIB, right? And I didn't fucking see it. I don't know who saw it. If you saw it, let me know. Put it in the comments. If you liked it, put it in the comments. But yeah, so they kind of just they did the thing with Dark Fate and Terminator. They did the thing with they lost connection with who was watching and what the source material was, and they completely threw it, swung to the fences and thought, hey, maybe we can get some fish in the barrel with this completely opposite view of things. So that's basically the gist of it. Where do we go from here? What can we do to fix the franchise? First, I think, well, Ronnie?
Yeah.
You do the honors, because I build off of you. I build off of your energy. What do you think we could do to fix the franchise?
Fix the franchise. I think first, it would I would do something that this franchise hasn't done before and actually go more towards the route that you were talking about with comics. You open up the door for multiple adversaries that they need to counter. You mentioned demons, the paranormal.
I like your cryptid idea.
Yeah. So not strap ourselves just to aliens, but to anything that's
urban legends, shit like that. That's a good idea.
So go back to anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. So source material. That says material. I'm not a good speller, but material.
It does phonetically, so you're not wrong.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so go to the source material, use a lot of those ideas, and not just solely concentrate on aliens, things that are coming from outer space, but also things that are already here on Earth. Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster.
Jersey Devil.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Yes, I did. Goblins, gnomes.
All of that. Werewolves, vampires.
Alligators in the sewers, things like that.
Anything.
That's interesting as hell.
Yeah, that makes it fun. And then you can do, you're not just waiting for, all right, so say there's no aliens, what are they doing? And then, so, are they just waiting for any aliens to arrive? Like, all right.
Yeah, because even in the movie it said there's only like so many aliens visiting Earth.
Yeah.
And they're all centralized in Manhattan or whatever.
Right, and so they go through that processing, they go through that immigration type thing, you know, get all the documents and stuff so they can go on and live with society.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Go more towards that route. So the demons and everything that we just mentioned.
I don't want to do demons and ghosts.
Okay.
Because it's Ghostbusters, and there's
that's a good point.
Yeah, so
that's a good point.
You had it with the cryptids. You had it with, and it doesn't necessarily have to be cryptid. Like they can do a scene with like the alligators in the sewers, to where like, oh, the cast. So the cast is big for me. So the cast, and tone. Cast and tone. So, I had a good idea for the cast of doing Terry Crews as Agent K, so it's not an old white man, it's just, you know, a middle-aged black man, and then do the Hispanic kid from Rise of the Beast, Transformers. You see,
that guy.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Will Smith.
No, I don't think he looks like Will Smith.
His eyes look far apart.
He looks more like her.
Oh, yes. You know what? Actually, or... You know who I want that has that kind of comedic timing?
Who's that?
John Leguizamo as K.
John Leguizamo as K.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and then do like maybe a white kid with good timing as Agent J, who can be like the Diary of the Wimpy Kids or some bullshit. You know, just good, or the Stranger Things kids or something like that, or something.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah, one of them. You know, some young actor, you know, with good comedic timing. And John Leguizamo, that should be funny as hell.
Wouldn't be bad.
No, it wouldn't be bad. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. You're like, dang, I haven't seen that guy in the movie. Like, I haven't seen John Leguizamo since John Wick.
Yeah. And then he was based on The Past and all that shit. I mean, I thought that movie was annoying as hell. But, it was annoying as fuck. I couldn't even get through it.
The track scene. Okay.
I had to watch that in math class in like what's it called, the charter school or whatever. So I was like, what the fuck is this? That'd be good. So Terry Crews would be my main pick, or John Leguizamo as K, and then pick any of your young actors with good comedic timing, and then they could be J.
Okay.
And then the tone, I want it to be as equally as dark as it is funny.
Oh, okay. So you have two-tone contrast.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay.
Not one outshining the other, not one cutting. I don't want a funny scene right after a dark scene. Mm-hmm. I want them completely separate, but equally as prominent.
Got it.
So I don't want a funny joke to cut the tension, but if a scene's going to be funny, it's going to be funny, and not like slapstick, or, just John,
right.
Whatever. So like, they're going through the sewers. Because there was information and whatever on Crocodile Man in the sewers. So John Leguizamo was like, go ahead, look, and then the guy, young kid's like, no, I got this. This, whatever, I'll kick Crocodile Man's ass. So he goes over there running, and then he like comes running back, and then he's like, it's just crocodiles. It's just crocodiles. And then they both run or some shit like that, like some shit like that.
Okay.
Or Channing Tatum or so, no, fucking like, just... something like that, to where it's funny. But then they have like a morgue scene or they have like a parasite scene, a zombie scene, shit like that has to do with paranormal, Bigfoot or whatever. So don't have it be just funny, but just have it be also creepy and intense as well. That's what I would do with it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So that's who I would do and who I would pick. It needs to start off. God, I think it should start off with the police, where he's like in the police academy, or he's with the police, or even an army. I don't know with an army. So in the story, in the source material, he was a policeman. Do we want to tweak the source material that much, or do we want to stay close to the chest with as much as possible?
I think,
but with our own, but just for a creative standpoint.
I think all of the devices that kind of start the movie, we can use those from the comics. Him being already in the police makes sense, because if you're an agency, a top secret agency that is going to be hunting abnormal things, you probably need to be above average in
marksmanship.
There you go. Yeah, combat, strategy. So you can't just be. I can't think of a profession other than, say, in the police force or in the military that you would find that, or even want to recruit from that. Basically. So for it to make sense, it probably would be from the police force or the military. If a secret agency who's going to be, with hand-to-hand combat and other weapons that you're not used to doing, probably want to get the best of the best that you can get with normal stuff, so they can handle, or at least have the potential to handle what's to come next. But even though, so just because you get in doesn't mean you're going to be good there either. But you want to at least have the some really good potential to go for it. So I mean, it would have to be either one of those things. Like you wouldn't recruit a guy from a bakery or anything, and I'm being hyperbolic, but it would have to be
hyperbole.
There you go, hyperbole.
No, hyperbolic's right too. You're
Anyway.
perfectly on it. It's a good use of the word. You're right. So, how about this? Which creates another element to the movie. You recruit the fucking Mexican kid from Rise of the Beast and John Leguizamo.
Who recruits him?
No, like we use them for the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you have that thing where the kid's, Hispanic, he's in the police academy, he's loose, hot shit, hot dogging, and John, he looks at John Leguizamo and hey, another Hispanic man of authority, and that could be an opening scene, like, he goes up to him, he's like, hey, what's up, cabron, and John Leguizamo's like, skin the car. Yeah.
So there's like a not necessarily
generational gap.
Generational gap, yeah.
Which
so culturally they're the same. They're the same, but he wouldn't be raised to go up to his elders and try to dap them up.
Yeah, especially his partner, So
right.
That would add to the element of the movie to where like there's the generational gap. Make John Leguizamo a little like gray haired or whatever with some makeup or hair dye. Have him really, the age.
He's gotta have gray hair now, right?
He's got to.
I
don't know. He's got that really jet black hair in John Wick too.
That has to be dyed. I'm assuming that is dyed.
John Leguizamo, I believe you. It's your natural hair. I love you, buddy. No. But yeah, that's another aspect. I don't want to introduce a love interest.
Same. Yeah, I think that just kind of brings down the story, especially if you're going to go for the creepy horror and then some comedy. The romance could kind of, now you got to make
convoluted. It's just another story.
Yeah.
You can do one where he's hitting on like alien hookers or something, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know. That's another thing.
You got like tentacles coming out.
Yeah. John's like, hey, watch it, kid. Watch the tentacles. Yeah. That's perfect. That's fucking great. Or like, he's chasing a Sasquatch and it turns out like it was a female the whole time, but he can't tell. So he's like, I'm sorry, miss, there's a mix up, we didn't know that you had this area for the evening. And then, he goes like, miss, he's like, yeah, can't you tell by the way it's looking at you? So, yeah. So there's a lot of, what do you call it? Opportunity for comedy.
Sure.
But, let's what would be a good villain? A good villain, I think I'd have to draw from the animated series because you have such a lot of source material from the animated series. You have Zed, and then you have Alpha. Alpha was K's. I think Alpha in the cartoon was guy who started the MIB with Zed. So they started. Alpha died or something, or a horrific explosion happened, and then out of nowhere he starts helping Jay. So he's like kind of this ghost around the priest type thing that you don't talk about, whatever. And then it turns out he turns into a bad guy. He starts taking alien parts and augments them to himself, so he becomes like this grotesque monster. I don't want to draw too close to that. God, what the fuck?
Oh, you can do to where there's this this being or creature that's maybe knocking off other cryptids or creatures and stuff, and they're like, what the hell's going on? Like, say this so maybe there was a big crocodile at some point and that crocodile got offed, and maybe he's using all of them to create his own thing. I don't know.
That's good. I was gonna go do the left turn and do he's knocking off agents. That's why John Leguizamo's looking for a partner.
Okay, so there's someone's hunting agents.
Yeah.
I like that. That's something new.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do that. They're hunting area. He's hunting agents because I don't know, what's the motive? The motive MIB reboot. Okay, so you have John Leguizamo, Mexican kid. Okay, plot. Agents being hunted. You know what? Why can't it be both? Why can't agents being hunted and the cryptids being hunted in New York City be a thing? Maybe because the motive, he wants everything to be normal in New York City. So he wants New York City to be solely inhabited by just normal people. That's what he joined the MIB to do, is to help create normalcy within society. But
there's a double agent in there.
No, this is the guy who helped build Men in Black. So we're doing the Alpha Zed run, yeah.
Got it.
So the reason he died was because let's see, what made him resent the creatures and Men in Black enough to want to kill both of them. Maybe he got killed in the line of duty for trying to save one of these aliens and agents, and
still coming back as a ghost?
No. It turns out he never died.
So he never died. So he was like injured, thought to be dead. I don't know. So say like he puts his life on the line and then it goes wrong. I don't know if that would be enough to want him to take it out on everything.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so he's Alpha. He has this alien dead to rights. He's very close to pulling the trigger, right? But his partner Zed tells him not to. Hey, we got him. Let's cuff him. Bag him. Let's process him. Imprison him forever. So Alpha listens to Zed. Alpha turns his back. The alien breaks free or does something, gets away, and then just blasts him apart. RoboCop style, along with injuring Zed critically, and then gets away. So Zed's commemorated. Alpha's presumed dead, and this alien's still on the loose. And they think it's the alien. They think it's the alien that got away. That's the twist. That's what we're gonna build the movie to. Is that everyone thinks that the alien is going away, killing off unfinished business. Okay, killing off all the cryptids and stuff. And as it turns out, plot twist, it was Alpha the whole time.
Got it. Okay. And why does he want to take out the whole MIB?
Because they allowed him and their scruples and their little code of honor to allow him to be horrifically crippled, which is causing him to augment pieces of cryptids to himself, because when he takes off his suit, his whole body bursts through and he's got mangled, he's got a Bigfoot arm, he's got a crocodile torso, sutured with a zombie, so he just looks crazy looking. And that's why, there's this serial killer cryptid on the loose that they thought was the alien that they let get away, but it turns out it was Alpha.
I'm tracking.
Okay. So that's the story. That's the story. You have the twist. You have all that stuff, and I think it just comes to character design, being fleshed out and all that. You know what? Let's fucking do that. Okay, let's do that. We'll do that right now. We'll take you from minute 0 to the end credits. We will do that. We will flesh this movie out. Okay. You want it? You got it. Or you don't want it, but whatever. Okay, first scene. Drop me into the credits. What's happening here?
So
do you do the cliche overview of New York with Biggie Smalls and shit playing?
No, I would do it to where it's the kind of like you can do like the dark, alleyway, the sewer, whatever, and it just starts off as one of the creatures that are just roaming the earth. And so there's one in New York City, and you're following that thing, and so you're following the creature, and he kind of like on the first one where they bust
yeah,
they bust the alien in the I don't know, was it Mexico or something?
Across the border.
Yeah. So so not necessarily that, and then because I think in the first one too, Kay finds Jay on like a foot race to one of the aliens.
Yeah.
So I would do it.
But also, you also have the intro credits where they were following the dragonfly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you want it to be where it's not a dragonfly this time, but it's just a perusing, weird, lumpy-looking creature thing just walking through? Do you want it to be the sewers, or New York, or the dark streets of New York, or the woods of New York? Where would you want it?
So it would definitely be in the city. So in the city, you can see its human form, and then after it's like in this alley or in the sewer, boom, it's whatever it is now.
Oh, so it wouldn't be like all just like you don't see like a weird, scaly, lumpy hand reaching into the garbage or something from the shadows.
Well, maybe you could, and he's like in this bum gear, and he's got like the big trench
Yeah.
coat.
That's what I was going with. That's what I was thinking. That's what I immediately pictured. And then you have like an eerie, the violin, piano, almost X-Files-y type. What do you call it? Soundtrack. And then you just see him like doing his shit, grabbing his garbage, going in. He has like a little alcove or a little sewer where he has a little campfire. He's not hurting nobody.
He's just minding his business, trying to stay away,
right?
Just trying to survive. And then you follow him on his journey home, and then you're like, okay, well, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then you can do, so that would be scene 1 where you're like, okay, well, right off the bat, there's going to be like monsters and stuff, creatures in this film.
Right.
And then you open up, so after you open up with that, then you can kind of get on to either John Leguizamo talking to...
No, so is that creature, the one you were talking about, is that is it just a rando?
It could come up later. So you can say, okay, what was that about? And then maybe, I don't know, we haven't even decided if that's a good guy or like a good character, a bad character.
You know where I thought you were going with that?
Where was I going?
Where like, you go there, you see, him digging through the trash in his homeless gear. You hear the fring of the bikes, there's people doing shit, and he's living amongst them, but like amongst them, He's going back, he's going into like a carved out, vacant sewer or something. He has a little like fire thing going, It goes from like, and then it has like some sympathetic music, he's just cooking fucking like old pizza and fucking beans and shit. He's just chilling. And he takes off his thing. It looks like a lumpy mole man or some bullshit, or like, some weird newt creature thing, and he's just chilling. And then you hear like, footsteps like in water, like coming towards him. He kind of does this thing, and then, you don't hear anything, and then you hear him closer, and then he like panics, blows out the fire and shit, and then he's kind of like sitting there in the dark and stuff, and you can see the glistening silhouette of his eyes and his face, but then you hear the I don't know why he's a transformer, but just shit, and then you see a silhouette of something monstrous behind him, and then he does a thing where he's like, ah, and then it goes Men in Black.
Got it. So he gets killed by the villain.
Yeah, the villain
in the movie. Okay.
Right.
So he's minding his business. He's getting hunted. So he gets killed by the main villain.
Yeah.
And it's you don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So now you know that there's a hunt for the creatures that are being hunted.
Right. Intro, scene, sewer, monster. Scene 2. This is gonna be a little diagonal, whatever. Scene 2. That's where you can introduce the overhead, scene of people walking through New York City. But then what I would have done as you introduce, the Mexican kid, but he's also walking amongst, freakish looking people. You got the, just people on the street in New York. And they got the weird bums, people with crazy hair and stuff. And it's juxtaposition to, the guy who was in the sewer minding his own business, just eating and trying to live his life. So you have that, you have him interacting with people, grabbing a slice of pizza, shit like that, and being, whatever. And I think it would be a good instance to where you get people that, and the guys that work in the pizza parlor, but put prosthetics on them to make them look a little more distorted. Like almost like Dick Tracy characters. But not everyone. So you have they're just peppered in, you don't really tell who's like human or something like that. But he just, he treats them like, whatever, they're just New York. So then you have him, going down the street, whatever, and you have him going to the police academy. Academy, he's doing his, he's just bored. He's bored doing his shit and things like that. And then he gets paired with, who's he get paired with? He's graduated, he's going on his first night walk or his night drive through New York City. Does he get paired with, tell me, I want some for you, I want some ideas.
So you can get paired, so the pairing guy is not going to be big in the movie just at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get anybody, just your filler generic cop.
You know what'd be funny?
What's that?
Or interesting, where he's the complete opposite of John Leguizamo. To where he's like a skittish, kind of, he's up to here with it, he's just like, fuck, he's got his like crazy PTSD or something like that. He's just nervous and unready. And then you have the Mexican kid who's overtly confident, wanting to see the action, wanting to see some stuff like that. And then, his partner's just the worn out, tired out, wired up, veteran cop who's just, he doesn't have the nerve for it anymore.
Okay, and so they're going on their beat and stuff.
Yeah, his first drive out,
just patrolling the streets, looking for a crime to go down, waiting for a call. Okay, and then from there what?
I don't know. So the scene, first patrol, scene 2, first patrol. So first patrol, they're driving out and they're looking for something. It's quiet and the kid's getting angsty. An hour goes by, nothing, which is weird. 2 hours go by, which is nothing, which is weird. 3 hours go by, they both fall asleep in the car. And then you kind of it's in the dead of the night, and then you kind of see maybe another creature, maybe a person, maybe a bum or something like that. But what would cause them to be attacked? Because that's when we introduce Alpha. That's when we I want to have something to where like it's Jeepers Creepers, to where the wings come down, swoop them up, and then take them away, and then they're both like, whoa, what the fuck? What the hell was that? And then the Mexican kid's overzealous. He gets out of the car, pulls his gun ready, does everything by the book, and the guy he's with just stays in the car. He's just he talks to him through the speakerphone too, because he's he doesn't want to leave the car.
Okay, so they see. So someone just got abducted?
Basically?
Yeah. So someone got abducted.
But I think maybe it should be why would Alpha, the guy who's harvesting alien parts, abduct this random? So it has to be another creature.
What if they spotted him right after he killed the other monster? So as because he just wiped out the other monster, right? And maybe they saw him taking off someone. And they're like, what was that? And they go to investigate. And then upon investigating what happened, MIB beats them too, and hey guys, when they look like FBI agents, they're like, all right guys, you gotta get out of here type thing. And that kind of that gets them to cross paths. And so that way you don't get to where the other guy is really out. Whatchamacallit, how was Jay recruited? He just saw him on the foot race. That was
no. You were on something. Okay, so the partner. All right, so it has a thing where, all right, so the main villain, they're perusing. They see this big figure, right, and it's an alien in disguise. It's not the main villain. It's just a rando, big old homeless guy. They're like, whoa, that's a big, big dude. Sir, whatever, and they're trying to. And, Jay, the Mexican kid, steps out. Tries to go confront him, and then the big guy, the big homeless guy they were going to confront gets swooped up by the main villain. And then they're like, whoa, what the hell? And then, he's doing his thing, perusing, and then the wimpy cop, the partner that he has, is talking to him through the white cloth. And you expect Jay, to like come up upon the main villain. You're ready for that big jump scare. It doesn't happen, and then so it pans to behind Jay, and the thing rips off the top of the car and takes the wimpy partner. And so Jay has to do a foot race with Alpha through the city. And then for some reason he clips Alpha, or he clips, the main villain some way. Or like he climbs a stairwell, jumps on him, and then it makes him and his, wimpy partner fall. And then the MIB show up, like, hey, what's going on? And because the main villain just killed that big old homeless person that was alien, they're covered in alien blood. Or they're covered in cryptid blood or whatever. So MIB goes in and he's like, freeze, because they think that the two cops are, like hate criming all the cryptids or something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so then, they meet John Leguizamo, they meet the whole crew, MIB's there and stuff, and, they take them through processing. And then you can have like an interrogation scene where they, two cops are being interrogated by the FBI. You can have it, where, you have a serious, either a comedy in it, you can do a mixture of both. You can have it just be like not intentional comedy where the guy, the vet, the wimpy vet's just losing his shit, and just have scenes like that. But that's the thing. So we went from patrol to meeting FIB to now they're being interrogated. So this is what, like, intro scene, 3-4 minutes, and then you have first patrol. So introduction, intro to Jay, first patrol meeting MIB. That's what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes? We'll do 20 minutes. 10 minutes?
I was gonna say about 15.
Okay, so 15 minutes.
I was thinking about 20 minutes.
Well, you're yeah, okay.
Like, think about how long is this movie? Say,
We'll do an hour and 45 minutes.
see, that's already 20 minutes. Now you got an hour and 20 to make the rest of the movie.
Well, but we are big advocates for long movies, though.
Correct. And so if we do 20 minutes though, then I would say 2.5
2.5 what?
hours.
Oh, I was like 2.5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, this is just a roundabout. Then you have the interrogation scene. Interrogation scene. Okay, the interrogation scene is where John Leguizamo is, grilling both the vet and Jay. So this is where you kind of find out what Jay's made of. He's kind of stonewalling. He's a kid. He has this sense of duty and sense of purpose and what's right and what's wrong. And then, John Leguizamo is actually impressed by the character of this young man. He's a cop. He still has this sense of duty and justice to his city. He loves his city and stuff like that. And then, the wimpy veterans just, things like just throw them away, So that's what it is. And then you have they let both of them go, and then John Leguizamo meets Jay outside of, just a random building, or, it always changes locations when they leave the MIB. That's why they can never find it. So, he's like, he kind of picks his brain. He's like, what made you want to be a cop, kid? And, he's like, you can do the sob story, my mom was a cop, or my dad was a cop, you can do whatever. Or you can do an opposite where, like, both my mom and dad, they used to rob people. And, that made you like, that's interesting. Okay. That got you. Okay, which one what would you want? Because we have to flesh out his backstory. How do we make people relatable to Jay, the Mexican?
How do you make him relatable?
Yeah, or just likable.
So, I mean, that's the thing. You can make a character likable without giving him a backstory. And in a movie like this, I don't even think we even need a reason of why he's a cop. Unless you ask him that question. So now you have John Leguizamo asking him why he's a cop. But I don't think that would be necessarily important on why he's a cop, that you would have to flesh out so much. Like, you don't have to do to where it's this...
How about he just says, does it matter? And then John Leguizamo goes, okay.
He could be, and that could be like he wants to push back against John Leguizamo and you already made him like this prove it hotshot type dude, so
Yeah.
that could be to his character.
And he's just pissed off because he just got interrogated.
Yeah. And he's telling what happened. He's frustrated and he just wants to find out what the hell's going on. Or maybe he wants to go after that thing.
Yeah.
He wants to get out there, and he's asking him why the hell he's a cop. That has nothing to do with anything, which he doesn't know is that he's
picking his brain, and making him a partner.
Yeah, recruiting him. So there's this disconnect of these questions. This lining of question isn't making sense in his mind.
Yeah, because Jay thinks he's still being interrogated when John Leguizamo was like, this kid's kind of interesting. I actually want to know what he's about.
It's almost a interview.
Yeah. Okay, it goes from interrogation to interview. That's pretty good.
So he's asking him these questions. He's like, hey, what does that have to do with tonight? Type things. Like, why are you asking me these questions?
Yeah.
I just want to go catch this thing. So you can see his frustration come out. So these these questions don't get answered. And John Leguizamo, in his mind, is like taking count of all this, and I don't know, maybe he has to go through some else, or maybe he just kind of gives up and like, all right, well, forget it.
That's why he wants the kid, is because the kid just wants answers.
Yeah.
He wants the thing to have accountability. You know, he just saw it kill a homeless guy in his eyes, but it wasn't a homeless guy. It was like it was a cryptid. Yeah. That's good. We're good. We got to come back to that. Cryptid, homeless guy. Cryptid, homeless guy. And so we have that, and then we have that dialogue and exchange. John Leguizamo leaves, and then they kind of like on the first one, to call back to the first one, where they're viewing all the candidates through the one or two-way mirror or something. It could be John Leguizamo, and then don't do it. I didn't misspoke at all. You can even do Tommy Lee Jones if he's still alive, to be Zed.
Oh, okay. So that like his cameo, or is he still Agent
K with Zed?
With Zed.
That's
Zed's role.
I don't know. That's something. Who would you pick to be Zed?
Good question. Who would we get to Zed? So are we? I kind of want.
We should put crickets on that one. That pause. That wasn't even a cricket.
That wasn't a cricket. I don't know, the way I kind of see the way this movie is going is it's definitely a kind of serious, grisly guy. And Rip Torn was he was still fun even though he was old.
Yeah.
Like he even had the scene where that thing's bouncing around.
Yeah.
And stuff, and he does the kick thing.
Yeah, with the chick.
Yeah. So I don't know, I wanted him a little bit more grumpy and type feel. So characters that would fit that role. There's always Clint Eastwood.
He's almost past the door. All right, he's got one foot outside. We're lucky he's here today. God bless him.
So something like that. I don't know who would.
You want like super old, like ancient. Like, how is he still around?
That's the thing, is that he doesn't have to be physical anymore. He's just running everything. He's just behind the desk.
I can't think of that window to where they're still able to act, but they're not almost dead.
Okay.
I can't fucking think.
Okay, so forget about old. Who do you think would fit the role?
Zed?
Yeah.
I don't want to pick Sly. He's gonna ruin the whole movie. He's gonna ruin the whole movie with all of his particularness and shit like that. Not Arnold, not Jean-Claude. I'm going the route of fucking like old school actors.
I would have done Bruce Willis. Pretty sick.
Dolph Lundgren.
Okay.
Yeah?
Alright, I kind of like that. Dolph Lundgren. Because he has that very serious role, and just looking at him, you can take him seriously. Okay.
But that'd be interesting too, to a character where for some reason he's overtly strong. to where you have a scene where like the Mexican kid's like bitching at him and shit, and he's like he's something. So he's kind of like holding the desk and something, and the kid's like, you're just you don't know nothing. You're just a white old man. Or you're just an old useless man. And then he kind of like grips it like hard, and then he lets go, and then you can see the thumb indentations and shit like that. Yeah. So something like that. But I would choose Dolph Lundgren. That's pretty good.
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. That's not bad. That's not a bad cast. Okay, so you have the thing. So you have the exchange in the intimidation room, stuff like that. John Leguizamo goes behind a two-way glass. Dolph Lundgren's with him, and he's kind of like, "What was that about?" And then he's asking John Leguizamo why he asked him why he wanted to be a cop. And then John Leguizamo would be like, "I just want to know if he's worth it." Just there you go. That's a good line too. Yeah, that's a good fucking line. And then it shows Jay leaving the Men in Black headquarters, and John Leguizamo. Does John Leguizamo meet up with him? Does he give him the card? Does he does he ask him what he's doing after his partners, because he's got to get a new partner. His partner's being committed to being processed to a mental institution or something. Or he's basically being told, and that can be in the interview scene, hey, if you don't chill the fuck out, you're not going to be around for long.
Why?
Because he saw he got taken by a bat monster, and the MIB's the MIB.
Okay.
So, and then even the Wimby cop can be like, "You threatening me?" He's like, "No, we're just warning you." You try explaining what you saw your peers, to your fellow police people. How is that going to go down? So there's going to be this rift. John Leguizamo explains that to Jay, and he's like, are you sure you want to go back to that? And Jay's like, I'm not sure what I want to go back to anymore. I just want to know what happened. And then John Leguizamo would be like, hey, meet back here, and meet back at this exact address tomorrow morning. You'll get your answers.
So you're just gonna tell him?
That's what happened with the first one.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do too much of the first one.
Okay, so
then it's just the first one with different characters.
So then,
I would do it to where the hotshot gets no answers. They tell him all right, he can leave.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So he leaves, and then he wants to find out, so he goes back.
Oh yes.
So he goes back, and they're gone because you said they switched locations.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "What the hell? I remember this being there. We took an elevator here, and none of that's there." So now he tries. Now there's even more questions that he's. So
he goes back.
Yeah.
So he goes back. There's no one there. No one. So does he start sleuthing himself?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where he's like he's kind of going through the dinginess of the city. He starts realizing that people kind of look a little bit more weird now that you read into it. The pizza guy's starting to look a little bit more strange. His neighbors, the homeless people around there are starting to he's starting to kind of the veil's coming down. He's starting to realize that there's shit out there that I don't know about that I'm starting to notice. Mm-hmm. So that's good.
Yeah.
So you have him on the tail of the salamander creature that was in the intro. He's going through the sewers and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then he meets, that's where we're introduced to Alpha in the sewers. Because he meets up, Alpha's like, he's kind of cryptic or whatever, something like, you're right on his tail, kid. You don't know how close you are, or something like that. And then, he's like, he sees him, he's in his suit, he looks like John Leguizamo and all the other agents, so he thinks it's one of them. He's like, he's one of you guys. And he's like, not exactly, but yeah. And then, he kind of goes him, and he's like, if you keep going, your whole world's going to change. Or your whole world's going to end. A call back to the line for the first one. If you keep going, your whole world's going to end. Is it worth it? So, and then, again, the Men in Black one, the callback line, is it worth it? And then, he goes back, and, he has a weird exchange. He kind of puts, the salamander, the rest, remains or something in a baggie or something, leaves the sewer. And now he meets up with John Leguizamo again, who is just right behind him and stuff like that. And then he meets the kid with now a mutated alien in a bag, parts of it. And then, so it's kind of looking incriminating. So he takes John Leguizamo again, or he takes the hot shot again. John Leguizamo takes the hot shot again, puts him in, and he puts him in a cell this time, like a prison cell. And then you can have, have it full of weird creatures or cryptids or things like that. And John Leguizamo thinks that he got the guy. So then the hotshot mentions that he met with Alpha or whatever, and then that's kind of like the saving grace of no, because we can't. That wouldn't work because where's the twist?
Well, that's the thing is that that the kid didn't do it. So just because John Leguizamo stumbles upon, he wouldn't be that stupid to assume that the kid is hunting down cryptids. That wouldn't even make sense.
Maybe that's why he needs a partner, because he's becoming jaded and he's becoming. I lost it. Oh, then help me out here. Help me out.
So the way I would do it, he starts investigating.
Okay.
You know, and he goes back and then say that where this crime scene is supposed to be set up, everything's gone. It's wiped clean.
So from their patrol, not the sound man are getting eaten in the first
Everything is wiped clean because Men in Black, they're not going to leave evidence. They freaking make people forget their memories and everything. They close off any type of trails or inclinations that anything happened. So it's all gone. The place that he got interrogated is gone. The whole crime scene's cleaned up. It's like nothing ever happened.
So he went home and he's going back to retrace his steps, and it's like the whole block changed.
Not the whole block, just everything that happened. Everything looks just like normal. It's just like nothing happened. It's just like if it was yesterday. Nothing's changed. And he's like, well, what the hell did this happen here? And so he tries to dig deeper. And so the more that he tries to investigate, the closer he gets to Alpha. And so maybe he starts going on to more stakeouts, and then he's, like you said, he's already paying attention to more people. He's like, hey, that guy's bigger than usual. And then, like you said, so he starts thinking about, okay, who is everyone around? Anyone could be pretty much anything from what I just saw. Okay. And then so you can do to where now Alpha's doing another, he snags up something else, and then you get hot on the trail, and then the Jay is
Hotshot.
Yeah, he stumbles upon that, and then
the newest victim.
The newest victim, and then maybe he's about to stop him, and then but now the MIB are also doing their own investigation, and again that's where they can cross paths, and then they kind of tell me get the hell out of here. He refuses, and they go on to if he's not going to refuse, they can't let Alpha get away, so they kind of both. John and Kay both go.
Okay, well if you're not gonna leave it, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. You get the fuck, or it's like your funeral type thing, and then they go through trying to stop Alpha. They don't succeed, and then John starts thinking, it's like, hey, maybe this kid has something. Where he's.
Are you gonna do the cliche scene where the kid shoots the gun at Alpha, saving John Leguizamo's life?
No, I wouldn't do that to where John Leguizamo's like
caught lacking.
Yeah, or he owes him type of something. No, you could just do it to where he has what it takes. Just like
what would be depicted in that?
That they're both they're both hunting out.
So they're both like dodging attacks. They're both doing cover fire. They're both
because like we said, John Leguizamo says, "Hey, get the fuck out of my way." So he's just concerned on Alpha.
Yeah.
And he's completely disregarding Jay because he's going through that throughout his over. He already told him to leave, to get out of here, to save himself type thing, and he refuses. All right, so if anything happens to you, it's on you. So they're both doing their thing, and he's showing himself that he could hold his own, and that he's.
Well, can you give me some depictions of he's showing John the hotshot can hold his own? Give me some depictions.
So that. Well, he's doing everything John's doing, except without the
laser gun.
Yeah,
he's got his gun.
Yeah, and he's shooting the best he can, and that he's actively pursuing. I mean, you want something very specific, but I would just do it to where it's just that they're neck and neck with each other.
But I want depictions of that.
I know you want depictions of that, but I'm saying any type of depiction you would do, it would be a cliche. He doesn't have a weapon, okay?
He has his regular gun.
He has his regular gun, and he's just keeping up with John. Okay, and so maybe there is like a type of strategy that they use or maybe he saw something and that, so I don't know, it depends on where he's at. So say I wouldn't go back to the sewer because now you're using the sewer too much. So maybe they're in an abandoned building. And he knows his way around that building, and he cuts him off, and then they.
So there's a moment where John thinks that he faltered behind, but it turns out he's actually.
No, he doesn't even care. He doesn't care about where Jay is, so there is no falting behind. He's just hot on the trail. He's blinders on. There is no Jay. It's just blinders on, and he's just actively pursuing.
That'd be a good POV scene.
Yes. So that's all it is. So he doesn't care where John is. John could fuck off for all he cares. But John. Joaquin. So Jay is like, oh, I know this building, so I know where to cut him off at. So boom, cuts him off, and then helps Jay to where it's like, oh, okay, shit. but he's not equipped, so he kind of gets brushed off. So maybe he gets hit.
So so they're both like firing on him.
Yeah, they're both bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
But that
it's not. Yeah, the bullets aren't doing anything.
That's not doing anything.
So he kind of bats Jay away.
He bats him away, and then he goes to the wall or something. And then Jay goes back, or the K goes back onto his trail. Boom, escapes. And then he's starting to see something. Okay, this kid's got it. And then he gets up. He's a little beat up, and so now that he took off, so Jay or K helps him and stuff. And then he's starting to see inclinations that maybe he could be pretty good. So already in his mind, he's like, dang, if he had the ammunition, we probably would have took him out.
If he was equipped.
If he was equipped, maybe
that's
with a little bit
good.
of training, we could have got this, because this kid knows his way, and he didn't know this creature, but he kind of stood his own, or held his own against it. He wasn't afraid of it, and he kind of wants to attack this thing head on. And so he sees a little bit of himself. And he's like, all right. So now that they're both together, now Jay is like, I want all these answers. What the hell's going on? This, and that. And then Kay is just not having it. And so he's going off, and then he's like, hey, if I told you, you wouldn't be able to believe it, type thing. And then I don't know, where would you take it from there?
So you have the mutual respect between Kay and Jay. Jay wants the answers now. Kay is still dismissive. He's still brushing him off. That's what kind of we need to come up to a point to where, when does Jay become a Men in Black man? Does he become it at the end of the movie? Does he earn his bones then, or does he earn his bones at this pivotal point?
I think it would be better at the end.
At the end, we're like, hey, they both suit up, they both put the glasses on. That's the start of a new saga, start of a new film series. You have 2 Men in Black now. That's the fucking thing.
Because he earned it.
Because he earned it. Okay. So then you have that point of respect. Kay's not telling Jay anything, but they don't stop back at Men in Black HQ, or maybe they do. I want there to be a scene to where he finally equips Jay with the shit that he needs in order to stop Alpha or this rogue alien.
I think that would be a good, right before the final battle, whatever. We would have to find how to lead up to that. But yes,
but that's perfect. That's perfect because then you can introduce the humor, the cryptids, the montage, him getting you can do a thing where they go into a bar, and you have your sentient cryptids or your weird looking Dick Tracy people, or you have your thing to where the gloves are off. Kay didn't tell him officially that, hey, there's weird shit going on, there's creatures everywhere, but they go to this bar, and that's kind of the realization. Just like in the first one, he sees all the aliens going around. In the bar, he sees kind of all these fucking crazy creatures going on. Which can be also a callback to Star Wars, because they have the cantina scene where they show.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So then he goes, he meets the bartender. He starts making contacts and things like that. He starts getting information. He can send Jay to start getting information and shit. And then you have your interesting dialogue that shows Jay's. If this was regular people and this was on the beat, he'd kind of have his thing, but this isn't. These are people who aren't people. And then you have Kay talking to the bartender. He's thing to John Wick. Hey, you got my stuff, or do you have my suitcase, or do you have my bag, or do you got my change of clothes? And then she hands him a duffel bag, and it has all the fucking goodies and things like that. And then he stops Jay from getting eaten or slammed or killed or something. Practical effects, interesting characters, things like that. And he's like, did you get a lead? And he's like, no, something. It turns out that the dialogue that the thing said to Jay before it was going to kill him or eat him said, toss you out in the woods or something. I'm going to bury you in the woods. And then it kind of sparks Kay and Jay to be like, I know exactly what he's talking about. And then they go into this graveyard, burial ground, kind of weird eerie thing to where it's kind of a hub for the non-sentient cryptids, the Big Feet and the Mothman. Things like that, to where they're kind of just in this soup of shit going, creatures. And so, they're kind of doing this thing. Jay and Kay are going along, they go hunt for Sasquatch or things like that, or whatever you want. And that's where you kind of get the suspense of it, because you can make it scary, and then you can find out that the Alpha, or the alien antagonist that we haven't revealed is Alpha, is picking off all of the creatures there too. So it's kind of like, hey, these things are just trying to live. The things at the bar were just trying to have a drink. And that can be brought into the dialogue with John Leguizamo. And, you have Kay kind of be like, it's a disgusting creature, there's all these freaks. And then you have cryptids and homeless man. He's like, what's wrong with freaks? They're just trying to live. This morality dialogue going around. And he was like, it's different. I don't care. If this monster thing's picking on monsters. It's killing all my people. It's killing people on my street. My family, whatever the fuck you want, shit like that. And he was like, remember that homeless guy that, whatever? Big reveal, the homeless guy was a creature the whole time. And it kind of makes him think about his morality. Like, I can't, it's flipped. And then that's the kind of thing, that's another spark that John Leguizamo was seeing, is that there's this new renowned sympathy towards all living things, not just human beings. And that's maybe what he was looking for the whole time. That's why he hasn't gotten the suit. They got a lead. We need to have some sort of exposition to John Leguizamo's backstory, of Zed's backstory with Zed and Alpha. So John was like, I know what this is the whole time.
Yeah.
It's when this first started, it was Zed, Dolph Lundgren. And you can have him, introduced earlier in the movie. How the fuck do we introduce Dolph?
You follow John Leguizamo back to MIB.
Okay, well then we can do that. But yeah,
and he's like, hey, I found out, and like you said, hey, I know who it is. And
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, and then he can do the scene too where he's like just tense, and then it can be like that's where the backstory is. Zed and Alpha were killed by a rogue alien who got up, was maimed but flew away. It had all the characteristics, the wings and the weird what do you call it, and shit like that, and stuff. So that's explained. They go out and they go back to where it all happened. The big fight, that they're reminiscing about. They go in, and then it turns out it was Alpha who was the evil alien who's been patching himself up throughout the years. Or just patching himself out just because he's getting old. Like, all things die, obviously I didn't want to die. So he's taking apart all these cryptids. He has a new hate for them, do the monologue and thing like that. And then you have the big fight scene. Fight scene where Jay takes everything he's found out, along with Kay. They do the tandem thing like earlier in the movie, but everything's more, tighter. It's more efficient. You have them maybe in the earlier scene where they were chasing down Alpha. I know you kind of want to leave them. They're going off efficiently in their own separate ways, but maybe it's their own efficiency without coordination that kind of also halted them in their own pursuit. Does that make sense?
You're talking about the end?
No, the earlier chase scene.
Oh, okay.
Because you didn't want any montages to where John Leguizamo is seeing that this kid has the stuff. But I was thinking that, yes, he sees that he has the stuff, but they're also kind of butting heads in a way to where they're trying to, they're both efficient in their own right, but their lack of communication is still a fault. So you can do the same thing at the end of the movie when they're fighting Alpha, but they're more efficient, they're communicating, they're more of a team now.
Right. Yeah, so basically, say we never took Jay to MIB, right? And so, how does he get equipped? So, basically, the kid, Jay, is not stopping on this. And then Kay kind of realizes, okay, this kid's not going to stop. Maybe he could at least help me.
Yeah.
Or I can get something from him, at least get something out of nothing. And so, they're on the pursuit. And so, at the end, boom, pop the trunk. And then load up basically like how they did on they didn't do
first one and second one. Yeah.
So you could do a little callback to where it's like, all right, we got our weapons, dude, all right, let's go. But now Kay is very more willing to give him direction. All right, this is how we're gonna do this. And then Jay is just like, all right, yeah, you can take command, and then I'm all ears. He's just happy to finally track this thing down. And then, like you said, they're both hunting this thing down. They're communicating. And everything looks smooth, like just an oiled machine, and it's almost to the point where it's like it was like it's a good fit. They fit each other very well. Yes,
okay.
very good. They complement each other very well. And for what, say, K isn't the best at, then yeah, like, so that goes back to the compliment.
Yeah.
So everything's working really well. And okay, they
that'd be a good scene. Like, so we're like, you know, K's an older guy, so you know he's needing to breathe, and the kid's just, you know, bolstering past him and shit like that. But then he's bolstering into something he doesn't know anything about, so he has like a crate thrown at him or something, or he has to take cover because shit's being thrown at him or something. So that can be, yeah. So like, they're both proficient in their own right, but they're both, you know, missing parts that they can each complement each other.
Yeah, like you said, he's older, so he's not going to be running and jumping and hopping over stuff like Jay can. But Jay doesn't have enough experience to where
he knows what he's up against.
Yeah, or he like, hey, like it's not just about being this physical ability where I'm just gonna chase this thing down. I need to know what's gonna come at me or type thing, and that K does. And so yeah, now they're kind of, he relies on the experience. Jay relies on K's experience. K relies on his physical ability. So yeah, they're able to help each other out on that end. So like you said, so maybe John isn't as fast, or Jay or K, A B C D. K isn't able to keep up, and he's telling him, hey, like, watch out, stay back. And then he's got his own blinders on.
Right.
He's just, I'm gonna go take this thing down, and he doesn't know what he's getting into. And then, like you said, he gets fucked up. Boom. He's like, hey man, I told you, stay back or something like that. And I think we could detail that more. So we found out that we know who it is. Jay and Zed, or K and Zed, talk to each other. They find
and
out
then
what
Jay
it is.
comes in. He was outside the door the whole time. He's like, just what's going on?
He broke in.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I've been a part of this. I've been doing this for the last 3 days. I'm helping out with it. The least you can do is tell me. Have your flashback scene, do all that stuff. CGI fest. John Leguizamo's de-aged and stuff. You totally could. You totally could. Those are good reasons for it. And then it's explained. And then they go back to where they think Alpha died. There's even a small little lament for it, like a little hidden memorial plaque or something. It's in like a junkyard that was, gonna be the new space age center or something. Or it was like a world. What's it fucking called? When an embassy. It was supposed to be an embassy for aliens, for cryptids and shit like that, creatures. And then the alien that killed Alpha and Zed didn't want that. He was a Zionist or something. He didn't want to expand past what, he didn't want to intertwine with anybody. He just wanted creatures for creatures, humans for humans, everything to be separate. And so they go back, Alpha gets killed, Zed gets, horribly injured, but then he's also commemorated. And then that's where they meet up. The embassy's now a junkyard, a scrapyard, something like that. It's unfinished. It's still dilapidated and unconstructed because that was their memorial for Alpha. Just leave it as it lie and stuff like that. So they meet. They're expecting this giant alien creature thing. It turns out it was Alpha the whole time, who was patching together parts from the cryptids he's killed. Because he's just getting old. And that's his reason. And then he kind of acknowledges John Leguizamo, and he's like, "You're getting old too, aren't you, Kay?" And John tries to go fight, realizes that Jay is equally aware. They try to do the tandem thing or whatever, and then Alpha's like, "I'm not gonna kill you," because he grabs Kay up. He's like, "I'm not gonna kill you because then you wouldn't suffer." And then he takes Jay. He plans to kill Jay. And then John's like, he eggs him on. It could be like he eggs him on the first one with Kay. He just kind of like, you whatever, eat me or whatever.
Me, you slimy, gut-sucking, intestinal parasite. Eat me! Eat me!
It's I don't know. How would you see that? Because I kind of want to do like the big sacrifice, the passing of the torch. Not so much, but like John gives Kay, sacrifices something so that Kay can be. Or Kay sacrifices something so that Jay can be involved. This is his showing of acceptance. This is his extension of gratitude and camaraderie. Hey, this is my giving to you. I accept you. You're part of my team now. What would be that symbolism? The passing of the gun, the slide, whatever. John drops his crazy hand cannon. Does the thing. Allows himself to be absorbed, like he's starting to absorb, Kay, and you can see like that little his skin starts to change. It starts to look more like Alpha's mutated stuff, and then you can see like his face morphing and stuff. And he's putting on the show, and Jay's like, tell me what to do, and he kind of does this thing where he like looks at him, drops the gun behind him, and then kind of does a thing, grabs it, takes the killing shot, and blasts the shit out of him. And then Alpha's like, hey, just do it already, kill me or whatever. But Jay makes the move that Alpha did to the alien. Jay's doing the Alpha, sparing his life because all life is sacred. What do you think?
It's good.
Shit.
I just
almost had him.
I just wouldn't do the tell me what to do type thing. It's very unspoken. So kind of like he knows he needs to kill this thing, and then so you're saying that K is in Alpha's grasp,
tentacles, grip, he's got him.
He's in his possession.
It's his mitts.
He's in his possession. Oh man, I'm trying to think of a way that it would be.
Maybe Jay fired all of the bullets, whatever, being overzealous.
So Jay's out of ammo.
Yeah.
Jay's out of ammo.
Yeah. K is bound, tied up, whatever, grabbed, being absorbed. And then maybe Jay's like punching Alpha, doing stuff and whatever.
They're in a building. They're in an unfinished building.
Yeah.
They're in an unfinished building, so we can kind of use that.
He grabs even in the first one, didn't he grab like an I-beam or something and start hitting it?
Yeah, it was. So he crashed, and then he grabs like a rod or something, and then he starts to fight it. And then there was even a branch with fire on it.
Yeah. We're not gonna do the branch with fire, but there you go. There's a lot of callbacks.
Yeah, so there could be a lot of equipment to be used.
Like a sledgehammer, but it's not even doing anything.
Yeah, well, maybe he drops something on him, and just wounds him. Maybe that's enough to release K somehow, and then K can get the final shot. Because I just don't like the whole I'm gonna drop my weapon. And you don't think the thing is gonna be and let himself get shot. So it has to be to where it's not too cliche to where hey, here, take it, and then bang type thing, because that's done a lot. So that's what I'm saying. It not enough to kill him, but it's enough to knock him around and release K. Because if we're out of ammo, Jay's out of ammo. So then when
you can do a callback scene from where he runs out of ammo while the first initial chase, and John Leguizamo could be like, "What? You don't pack an extra clip?" or something like that. So it can be like Jay is out of ammo again, and he's like, I can't help you. He starts beating him with a sledgehammer. You can do the scene where John Leguizamo tries to drop the gun, and Alpha catches it, and Alpha's like, you think I'm not prepared for it, and things like that. And then Jay's like, bet you weren't prepared for me having another, bet you weren't prepared for me having the bathtub or something.
So why wouldn't he just? So if he runs out of ammo, why even fuck around with the sledgehammer and not just switch to the magazine and kill him right there?
Because it's catching the monster off guard, overzealous and overconfident.
But okay, so my point is though, I'm out of ammo, right? And then he's got K. Why not just reload right there and start shooting?
Maybe his wings are deflecting it or something. I don't fucking know.
So okay, so his wings deflected. Is he out of ammo again?
No. That's the reason why, he wanted the monster to open up, because he's doing this monologue and shit like that. He's got K, he's catching him off guard, and he does the thing. Maybe he loads it from the back, and just whatever. I think you're overthinking it.
Now, just think about being. Realistically, what would you do as a you're in that position? I wouldn't risk acting out I'm out of ammo when if I have a clear shot and just taking him right there.
I don't know. We're at the end. We're at the end of the movie.
Okay, so that's the only thing, is that I can buy that he's out of ammo, but I wouldn't do it to where he gets more ammo.
Because what else would you do? Ram the car into him? Would you drop all the rubble on him? Because then you'd kill John Leguizamo.
That's the thing. That's why I wouldn't do that.
I'm just giving out suggestions. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
So maybe that's the issue, is that he has John Leguizamo in his grasp, and I think that's what's handcuffing us.
Well, it would handcuff Jay too.
So if we're handcuffed, Jay's handcuffed, no one's doing anything, is my point. So we don't have to put it to where Kay is in his grasp, but maybe he's wounded, and pretty much.
Why wouldn't he finish off Kay?
And that's the thing, is that what is Alpha doing at the building? So why is he at the building? Let's start there.
They know that they're hunting him, so this is his chance to finally kill the majority of the Men in Black.
So is this a trap?
Yeah.
Okay. A majority of the Men in Black?
Yeah, he's just there to just fuck. It's kind of like a suicide mission.
Why? Why is it a suicide mission?
Because he hates the Men in Black solely,
Okay.
as much as he hates all the cryptids.
It's his suicide mission.
Yeah.
Suicide mission for him.
Yeah.
Why would he put himself in that position?
He's getting older. He has to now like absorb, cryptids and things like that. He's realizing that his clock's running out. He can't live off of, being a jigsaw of monster parts. He's finally getting, just whatever.
Wouldn't it be a more suicide mission to go to the Men in Black?
Is that how we want? We don't want the movie to end with, the two men becoming partners and them defeating the monster.
Yeah, that's exactly how I want it to end. But I'm just saying, if it's
I'm just throwing out ideas.
That's what I'm saying. If it would be more of a suicide mission, him going to the Men in Black. It's more of a trap if they're going to him. Is my point.
So then they know it's a trap. They know that this thing lives there, and they know that Alpha lives there. So wouldn't they prepare a trap for him?
That's another thing too. If they know it's a trap, why don't they just call other MIB agents for backup? It would have to be that he leads them there, and there's no time. There's no time to, or maybe they do call and they're waiting. But as they're engaging, backup is on the way. So backup could be on the way as they're engaging with Alpha. So they're both, running and gunning, boom, 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 throughout the structure of a building.
Okay, so at the wood scene, with all of the unsentient, civilized, Bigfoots and Jersey Devils and the really more animalistic cryptids, they're kind of having that dialogue of these things are all life is sacred, these things lives matter too. Put in your little political thing there. But yeah, and then Alpha swoops down, disguised as the alien or whatever, and starts just tearing them up, absorbing them. And then they're fighting them off, they're shooting them off, they're trying to get these creatures to safety, unloading on this thing with all that they have, they're calling it in, and then it flies off, and then they're chasing this thing, and then it boom plops to the memorial of Alpha.
Good. Yes, that's good. I'm
Okay.
pumped. That's good. You know what would help? What would kill this thing? Let's answer that. What would kill this thing? And then we can kind of...
Any one of their giant strong guns.
Okay, so they got their giant strong gun. Any one of them?
I mean, it's got to be like a big fucking gun.
So a big gun will kill this thing, right? Okay, so now we know that a big gun will kill this thing. We'll just reverse engineer. So this thing is dead. It was killed by a big fucking gun. Okay, the big fucking gun is that's in his car. So it's the thing is flying, and they're chasing it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so they got it in the car. So before they actually go through that, they boom the trunk and they grab some weapons and stuff. And then, do they have the big gun on them? Do they go back to get the gun?
That's your choice.
Okay, so let's say
Let's say they take the big gun. They're prepared.
I would definitely take the big gun.
Okay.
So realistically, you take the big gun.
Yeah.
Right. So I got the big gun, but that's the first thing I would start using. I would save it. I would just start using the big gun. Boom.
And then that's
boom,
why
boom,
it's
boom.
why it's gone.
Okay, so they ran out of ammo.
The rookie did.
He definitely does not have the big gun. It should be Agent K.
Okay.
Should definitely have the big gun.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't give the big
rookie
gun to
the only
kid that's
means
not
to
even
kill
the
it.
Men in
Okay,
Black.
okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that. It would be in my possession. So Agent K's got the big gun. He definitely wouldn't run. So maybe he's got one last round left, and he's saving that thing. Okay. So he's saving that thing. The other kid is just boom, boom, boom.
Count
bang,
your
bang,
bullets.
bang.
Count your bullets, kid.
Yeah.
And that could be a callback to the last or the first chase. The kid didn't count his bullets, and you see him emptying a dry clip in him or something.
Okay, so yeah, on the first one, he got over his house and just unloaded. And so this one, ammo's very much you got to conserve your ammo, especially because they don't have a lot. So yeah, he's keeping track of what he has. He's being very careful on his shots. I'm just trying to think. Okay, so what? It's a shootout, and what?
There's one clip. There's one round left.
One round left.
Left. He hasn't
He's
used
saving
it.
it. He's waiting for that perfect moment.
He's waiting for the perfect moment. He gets swooped up.
Okay.
Whatever, he gets, this thing, the gun's gone. The kid thinks the ammo's gone. The kid's panicking. Starts shooting him with the little pistolas and things like that, MIB. And then he can be a callback. He's getting absorbed. Agent, John Leguizamo, Agent K is getting absorbed, and he tells Agent J, the kid, what's the one rule I told you never to forget? And then it could be always count your rounds. He looks back, fucking picks up the gun, and then he does the final thing to the thing. He hits the guy, drops John Leguizamo, and it's kind of like, so what do we do with him? And then he comes back, lowers the big fucking gun with the new rounds, or maybe, I don't know, what do you think? He has the opportunity to finish off Alpha.
Okay, so the big gun didn't kill him.
No, it definitely hurt him though.
Okay, so it hurt him. So boom, he's wounded. Yeah, he's wounded.
Yeah.
He's down.
Yeah,
he could be killed or taken in. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's wounded. He released K. He's lying there. He's dying.
Yeah.
He's dying. And so yeah, they take him in.
No, you have the moral thing. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do, kid? And then the kid, lets him survive.
Yeah.
The parallels between their flashback and then this. The Alpha sees, there's the same, whatever. And then it shows him, it shows them cryogenically freezing Alpha. They take him in the big truck. And it has a thing where you have the lethal weapon, saxophone, yeah. That'd be good. I wouldn't mind that. And then it has, the outgoing dialogue of, so what are you gonna do next? And I don't know, just, maybe, get some bandages, grab some coffee. He's like, well, I'll join you. And he's like, nah, I'd rather do this by myself. He's like, you're not by yourself anymore, kid. And then, hands him the thing, the glasses. And he's like, what's this? And he's like, it's the last suit you ever wear. And then, you kind of do your montage to where they're driving. They're both suited up. They get on the next fucking thing. Crocodiles in the sewer. Something like that. Whatever, fine. And then, it goes through the sewer line system, whatever. And then it goes up to where they're holding Alpha. He's in the cryogenic thing. And then, it's on, one spotlight. See that? And then, see the MIB guy with the newspaper, kind of just in there. And then you hear, like, the ice crack, a little bit of ice falls off. And then it's the credits.
Okay.
That's it.
I dig it.
That's how we would revamp it.
I like it.
There's a lot of fucking loopholes in there.
That works for me.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. We fixed we sewed up the ending. Would you want to use Alpha and the other ones?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's open-ended, kind of. You can if you want to. You can do a lot of shit. You really could. You can do any kind of...
Yeah, you're right.
Full creative, what do you call it? Freedom. It's not bad. Okay, so that's how we would do it. We just made the next Men in Black movie. I think there's a lot of potential. You can shoehorn. We just storyboarded it. So pay us money. Let us know if any studios want to pick that up, and we'll definitely be along. Next episode's your episode.
That's right.
Do you remember what it is?
No, I don't.
It's Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh.
Yeah. Ronnie gets to fix Dragon Ball next episode. So have fun with that. I'll see you guys. That was fun. See you on the next one.